Hey, what's going on, Black people? Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I'm gonna give you guys a chance to come into the conversation. It's going to take a second for us to let everybody in, and also I want to apologize in advance for my internet issues. I don't.
I'm in Amsterdam, which is without a doubt.
I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but my Wi-Fi has been acting real crazy today. However, it doesn't matter because today we're still going to have a great conversation. And today I get the opportunity to speak with my good friend and my colleague, my respected, I guess you could say mentor, friend, just all these things, Dr. Claud Anderson. Dr. Claud Anderson is the author of the books Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, Dirty Little Secrets, The Black History Reader, and a lot of other powerful pieces of work throughout the years. And so before we begin, I'd like to ask my friend, Dr. Anderson, how you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well today. I'm improving in my health. You know, I've had a lot of serious health challenges this year. This has about been the worst year in my life, health-wise. I don't know why everything rained on me instead of being like Samson, who I always wanted to admire, like in the Bible, or Noah to go out and warn, alert people like in the Bible. I want to be like Job in the Bible. Everything rained down on me in terms of medical disabilities. Or so right now I'm just trying to recover from all those different things that have been afflicting me in during the year of 2019.
Well, you know, you're a great man, you're a strong man. And just so you know, a lot of people out here are asking about you, they're praying for you, and they want to make sure that you are as healthy as possible. And so everybody, I want to welcome you all to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're not prepared for an intelligent discussion, you should probably go home. This conversation is not for you. Now, do me a favor as I greet all of you, hit the thumbs up button and shout out your city. Let us know what city that you're from. Terrell Reed, how you doing? Thank you very much for your donation. Magic City Photography, the legendary Dr. Anderson, respect from Miami, Florida. All right, Joe Green, Amanda Wiggins, Cameron Kelly, Evangel Dixon, Tanya Hack. It says hello. Evangel says we're her favorite docs. I appreciate that. Kevin Carey from Austin. So Savage from Detroit, Mikhail from Detroit, Felicia from Memphis, Matthew from Chicago. We're having by the way, if you guys want to come out, if you live in the Chicagoland area, we're doing a spades tournament on November 9th. Just something fun, just Black folks getting together and having fun. So feel free to go to drboycechicago.com if you'd like to, for me to whoop you personally, I will whoop you with spades. So drboycechicago.com. I see Aisha from Raleigh and Black Money from Memphis. Get to the Point TV. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that very much. Charlotte, North Carolina. Matthew says, I'm there. I'm coming to the spades tournament. Okay. Well, I look forward to giving you a hug in person, brother. All right. So let's get started. Let me jump into this discussion. I'm gonna bring up the interesting elephant in the room. Today, Byron Allen. Do you guys give me a yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, if you are aware who Byron Allen is? Do you know who Byron Allen is? Byron Allen is a billionaire media mogul, a very smart Black man who has built an amazing and extraordinary media empire. He actually bought he tried to buy. He's probably glad he didn't buy it. That first Nate Parker movie, the Nat Turner film. Anybody, you remember that? Okay. Well, Byron Allen today was, and I'm sure he's glad he didn't buy it because they smeared the hell out of Nate Parker with that nonsense with it. This white woman. I don't know if you know about this, Dr. Anderson, but this white woman from college 20-something years ago, people were trying to say that Nate raped her, and they blamed him for the fact that she killed herself 10 years later, even though there was never any proof. There was never any evidence that any assault ever happened. But they still, you know how white folks are, they just kind of make the laws up as they go along. And they literally pinned this rape on this guy, and he didn't rape anybody. I mean, there's no evidence anywhere to say he raped anybody. But what it did, Dr. Anderson, was it ruined the movie. It was an excellent movie. I went to go see it, and the movie was damn good. Miss Monica, yeah. Did y'all see Nate Parker's movie? I thought, what was it called? Somebody write the title in here. I don't have the title in front of me. But this movie did really well, Doctor. Let me just tell you, I'm gonna tell you the story so you just kind of know the background. The movie did really well. It was all about the Nat Turner Rebellion. And it was a damn good movie. And was it called Nat Turner? Or was it Birth of a Nation? That's what it was. It's called Birth of a Nation. The film did so well.
Wait a minute. Was it the original Birth of a Nation 19?
No, not that one. Not that one. No, he reclaimed that title and did an excellent job telling the Nat Turner story.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing was, the film did so well at the film festivals that everybody was bidding on it. And one of the big bidders was Byron Allen. Byron Allen really wanted to buy this movie, and he sold the movie to Fox Searchlight Studios, I believe, and who lost a killing. I mean, they got took to the cleaners, because I don't think the movie, I think they paid maybe 18, 19, 20 million for it. And I don't believe the film grossed more than 6 or 7 million, because they just smeared it so bad with this false.
Who smeared it?
The white liberal media, basically feminists, trying to claim that he raped this woman, when again, there was no evidence that he ever raped anybody. And I think that they were probably upset that he didn't bow down and get on his knees and apologize. And he didn't, from what I understand. And they ended up losing a lot of money from the film. So Byron Allen bid on that movie, and I'm sure he's glad he didn't get it, because that would have been a bad film for him to acquire. But everybody was impressed, because they were like, wait, who's this black man bidding, $18, $20 million for a movie? And that's when Byron Allen's name kind of got out there more, because people used to just know him as a comedian, but now he's sort of this film mogul. So anyway, so Dr. Anderson, let me just give you a little background. Byron went on the Breakfast Club today, and I know you guys. I told you guys I'm scheduled to be on there on November 4th. I haven't heard back from Charlamagne's guy yet, so I'm hoping that he hits me back so I can buy my plane ticket. If he doesn't, if I don't hear back, I'm not going to buy a plane ticket. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but because I got to hear back. But and Dr. Anderson's going on Breakfast Club. Charlamagne specifically requested Dr. Anderson. They've been in contact, and I think that is a huge credit to Charlamagne. But Byron Allen went on there today and did a really great interview, told a great story about all the things he's kind of dealing with. And he hit a lot of issues, which I'm actually going to address in a special lecture in the Black Business School. But one of the things I want to ask you about, Dr. Anderson, let's just start here, because there's so much to hit. I don't want to throw it all over the place. One thing he mentioned was he talked about fear, and the fear that many Black people have of doing anything that's radical. And the word radical means something to me, because I remember you were the first person, you don't know this, but you were the first person who ever made me feel like it was a good thing to be Black and radical. Before that, I was scared to be Black and radical, because I was like, man, they're gonna blackball me, this, that, and the other. And before
you leave that point, tell them the difference between what black radicalism is. What does radical mean? How did I define it for you?
To me, radical means pushing the issue, telling the truth, unapologetically, unafraid. What do you think?
It means doing something that's non-surface, that it goes all the way deep to the bone. Radical surgery. Anything that's not radical is superficial. In other words, when you hear somebody saying that you got to go in for radical, you got cancer, breast cancer, if a woman is told that, but we're going to have to perform radical service, that means you're going to have to go in and cut it all out, period. That's the difference between being superficial and being radical. Radical is a positive in terms of trying to resolve a problem, whether it's cancer or anything else. Unfortunately, Black folk have been brainwashed in dealing with superficial stuff, ceremonial stuff, that is always at the top. It never goes down to the bone. And that's why anything time you read an article or a book about black issues and Black history, 99% of all Blacks going to be at the top. It's superficial. They be talking about something that's almost irrelevant, unnecessary, wheel spinning, non-frictional, that stays right up at the top. But if you really want to solve a problem, you get radical, go all the way down to the root. That's why people always begin to label me as a forensic historian. I want to go down to the bottom of it, whether it's breast cancer or slavery or racism. Go to the bottom and get the origin of something, then work your way back up, so you know exactly what caused it, how you got into the dilemma you're in, and what you got to do to get out of it. That's the difference between being radical and being superficial. You, as long as I've known you, you've never been superficial. So don't you dare buy your head about being radical.
All right. Well, one thing Byron Allen brought up that I thought was really interesting, made me kind of think about that conversation you and I had back in 2006 in Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown, actually. And one thing he said was that he talked about his fear when he first started really taking on, the rich boys and kind of trying to play the Hollywood game at a big level. He said that a lot of people, put fear in him, or tried to put fear in him by saying, oh, you're going to get blackballed. You're going to get blackballed. And he said something that I thought was great. He said, if you Black, you were blackballed the day you were born. You just never got the email. He said, you thinking you up here sitting here waiting for a prize that ain't never gonna come. And I resonated with that. I was out on a run with my fiance, and we both laughed because we see so many Negroes waiting for a reward that ain't never gonna happen. You sitting there like a puppy waiting for a treat. And he actually compared it to black folks to monkeys waiting for a banana. They give you a banana, and you happy because you got the banana, and half y'all don't even get the banana. So I thought that was interesting to think about what you talk about in terms of us being blackballed from the economic system, as well as the fact that people get nervous about black people boycotting white businesses, but they've been boycotting black businesses since black businesses ever came into existence. Can you kind of speak to that?
That's right. And that's why in the Black Labor White Wealth book, that's why I put in the back when you went those items you went through, showing all the various laws that were set up in the South and in the North, so how they blackball or boycotted everything dealing with blacks, all the way from the beginning of the 15th century all the way up to about 1960s. They were boycotting it. Right now, all the whites are boycotting it. They boycott black businesses. They boycott black public officials, black organizations. You being boycotted in all respects. They're boycotting you to make sure that you don't get any money, that no money is redistributed back into the black community, and they're gonna limit in opportunities. As a matter of fact, to be more specific, because I don't want to draw you away from your point about Byron Allen, is that what most blacks don't understand, that in the entire integration process, they build in a code. Did you know that? They build in a code that defines how much integration could really occur in the black community. There's a quota system. They built in a quota system into the integration process. Your people don't know it. They don't know it. They're all boasting about social integration and getting along with whites. Whites got a balance. They got a balanced code. A code says that anytime social integration hits a breaking point, the breaking point is about 4 to 5%. Anything that black folks do, Dr. Watkins, anytime blacks penetrate whites up to about 4 to 5%, there's an alarm goes off in their system throughout the white communities. I don't care whether it's in Boston or it's in San Diego. An alarm goes off. That's an alarm, says anytime blacks have now penetrated us through social integration. What that means right now is that if you live in a neighborhood that's all white, 1 or 2 blacks can move in, they'll be accepted. And they're beneath the line of 4 or 5%. But once few more blacks get up, and all of a sudden the percentage of blacks in a white neighborhood hits 4 or 5%, the alarm goes off. Whites then say, we must respond to that. And now they're gonna start putting their houses up for sale. If you got a school that's predominantly white, and then the black population, student population hits 4 or 5%, whites gonna withdraw their kids from out of that school. If you got an organization and the population in that organization was all white, a number of blacks begin to take out membership and join it, it's 4 or 5%, they're gonna set off an alarm. So between 4 and 5% up to 7%, white folk will be totally out of it. They're gone. And guess where they're gonna move to? They're gonna relocate back to an all white, 100% black area again, or go to another white school, all white school, or wild white community. Blacks don't know there's a code in a breaking point in the social integration system. It says we cannot tolerate more than 4 to 5% of blacks on anything, period. That's even in business. That's why they boycott you. I didn't mean to take you off on that point, but I thought you want to know that.
No, that's a very helpful point. And I hope you all will agree and tell Dr. Anderson how appreciative we are of that point, because a lot of folks don't know that. So you think about this, it sounds to me what you're basically saying is that integration as a black empowerment strategy is simply not going to work, largely because there is a cap. There's almost right. Like the NFL and the NBA has a salary cap. There's a cap to what they're willing to offer you, and the cap is not big enough for everybody. They get so basically we're all in the water. All of it, black folks out here drowning, and you got 1,000 people in the water drowning, and you throw out 3 lifeboats. 1,000 people can't fit on 3 lifeboats, but everybody sits in the water quietly because they're hoping that they can be one of the Negroes selected to be on the lifeboat. And so I think that was a great point for you to make, because I used to also fall into that myth that if you behave yourself, you do a good job, you sit and you wait, for your opportunity, you don't get out of line, then they're going to take care of you. And what happens is, unfortunately, is that you have a couple of people that get that success, but the masses of us get left behind. And so Dr. Anderson, let's speak specifically about when Byron was talking about being blackballed. I like what he did, because it sounds like he kind of blackballed himself a little bit. by basically saying, I'm not going to play that game with you. I know that my success came from blackballing myself. There's situations I can't go into, places I can't work. I can't, ain't no white man gonna hire me unless they trying to, buy me to get me to sell out, which ain't gonna happen. I have black people that, scholars, black scholars who didn't want to work with me because they were so afraid of the stigma of being associated with a radical black person. But that's really worked out for me. That's worked out in terms of I've had opportunities and wealth and just been able to do things that most of my friends can't do. And so, given that we have these black businesses that we're building and they're being boycotted by everyone else, that the whole community is being blackballed by the entire economic system, what is a way to kind of process things as if you're talking about a young person, as they're going into the system? What should they hope to get from the system, and what should they not ever expect to get from the system?
The first thing I do is go back to what the premises that I set up on many occasions, and when you and I were going through this interview, sharing feelings and attitudes and data, is that black folk got to go back to the basics, period. Because see, in other words, if white folk have maldistributed everything into their community, period, they did it for a very specific reason. That is to dominate and control, own and control. And see, and now do me a favor, bring me back to Byron Allen in a few minutes, okay? Because I got to move off of this, explain it to you. I've tried my best in all of my books, Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, Dirty Little Secrets 1 and Dirty Little Secrets 2, and Black History Reader. Try to explain this to black folk, but somehow I can't figure, it can't get in it. I can't get it to penetrate black folks' minds. They got to go back to the Constitution. You got to go back to, there are two constitutions again. I'll give it to you again. There's a first constitution which says that black folk are 3/5 of a human being. They're less than, they're non-citizens, and therefore they are property, period. They have no rights to respect, and nobody's going to deal with them or elevate them in any regards. That's why they set these meritorious manumission policies and the slavery code, which says you cannot elevate black folk up. And that's why up to Dred Scott decision in 1857, under the first constitution, said black folk have no rights that a white person is bound to respect. So you didn't, because the United States Constitution told you exactly where you were at that time and where you basically are today. It spelled it out that you are nothing more than property. You're not entitled to anything. We have maldistributed almost 100% of this nation's land, wealth, power, material, resources, rights, privileges, and controls of all levels of government and business into the hands of the dominant white society. It took us 360 years to do it, another 100 years to capitalize on it. That's called Jim Crow segregation. Whites own and control 99% of everything of value in the society, period. Now, but based on that Dred Scott decision, here's the point. Based on that Dred Scott decision, Dr. Boyce, is that when slavery ended with the Civil War, at least officially, but on paper, it ended, and they come up with a second constitution. That second constitution specifically was designed to change and alter the Dred Scott decision of 1857, which says that now that the war has ended, we must come up with a second constitution. That started with the first constitution was Amendment 1 through 12. That's why the 13th Amendment was the beginning of a second constitution. The 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, and civil rights laws, period. That constituted a second constitution in the United States. It was strictly and solely devoted to black people, period, to reverse the Dred Scott decision of 1860. I go back to the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment says that now that black folk are supposedly free, that it is obliging and mandated by all levels of white society to treat them in all manners as similar to how white people are treated. That was the 13th Amendment. But watch this thing now. You're supposed to be free. That means you're free to get what? Then it goes to the 13th Amendment. Now you go to the 14th Amendment. Now that you're free, you must move down to the 14th Amendment. What did the 14th Amendment says? The 14th Amendment says that every level of government is mandated to exercise all necessary means to lift the burdens and legacies of slavery off the shoulders of black people. Didn't say anything about midgets, humpback, women, gays, anybody, or immigrants. It says black people. That was the 14th Amendment. Now you go down to the 14th Amendment was enacted in 1864, 65. Now they came up with the civil rights law. I'm coming up to your point. Civil rights law then says this, is that for black folk to be effective in the society, For black folk to be free, they must minimally have the 2 to 3 things to be free. Otherwise, they'll be a slave forever. They must minimally have 40 acres, a mule, and $100. That was built into that was the first of the civil rights laws in 1865. It says minimum blacks can only be 1 or 2 things in America. You're either gonna be a slave or you're gonna be free. But to be free, you must minimally give every black 40 acres, a mule, and $100. Now, and guess what? And that one got vetoed. And so they came back, the radical Republicans came back in 1866 and says, we're back to this point again. Give black folk, what do black folk need? They say they must have ownership and control of resources. And what did they do then? They then built what they call the Freedmen's Bureau. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
They say in this Freedmen's Bureau that black folk, now we're gonna give black folk land. They put in 5 million acres of land for black folk in there. And say we're gonna give black folk some land. We're gonna give them a mule if we can, give them everything they need, land, mineral, and some money. But at that point in time, white racism kicked in again and says, no, we can't do that. We can't let blacks, because we need these black folk. We need them again, if not as slaves, as semi-slaves. But we cannot let black folk, here's the point I'm coming to. We cannot let black folk in any regard raised to a level where they can be equal or competitive with white society. Do not let them, so that's why that's the fallacy, and black folk always talking about equality. Whites are not gonna let you be equal to them, as I said, in any respect. So you started, when I talked earlier about moving into a white community, when 5 or 6 blacks move into a white community, that scares the hell out of white folk. They say these Negroes are moving and try to be equal to us. We getting the hell out of here. So they put their houses up for sale. And when black kids started coming to a white school, they take their kids out of school and transfer them, you know where? To either back to an all-white community, or to a charter school, or a segregated academy, or a religious school, because whites are scared of hell of equality. They're not gonna let you get back. That's why they got this breaker point, which says a code of conduct, you cannot accept more than 5 or 6% of blacks in anything, period. And so that's why they destroyed everything. And that's why black folks still going around talking about racial equality. It ain't gonna happen. A race is a contest where people are competing. Racism is a contest. Whites are not gonna let you compete with them. They're gonna let you get closer to equality. And black folk gotta be a damn fool to go to the Kentucky Derby to watch a horse race every May and say, all these horses are gonna start out together. I want to run around this track. I want them all to come in equal at the same time. That's not the point of a racism or race. A race is not designed to make you equal. Race is designed to bring about inequality, not equality. So watch every politician, every black leader and somebody, we got to get some equality and equal opportunity. They got to be a fool. They ain't gonna never happen. That's my point. You start talking about going back to Byron Allen, what they're gonna do now. They're gonna do everything they can to not let them get equal, and they're gonna try to maintain absolute control of everything and try to keep black folk restricted to a lower level where they're non-competitive with whites. They can't be equal in any respect.
All right. Everybody who's listening, I'm speaking with Dr. Claud Anderson. Dr. Anderson is the author of the books Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, Dirty Little Secrets 1 and 2 in the Black History Reader. His website is powernomics.com. That's powernomics.com. Somebody please type that in the chat, powernomics.com. Feel free to go check that out. Also, real quick, guys, I want to say thank you for your donation, Keith Baker. I saw it earlier. I just didn't want to interrupt Dr. Anderson. So but if you make donations in the super chat, I will mention your name or your business or whatever. So it's really a great way to advertise or to make your statement at a very low cost. So feel free to use super chat. Also, the next thing I want to mention to you guys, let's do our Black Power exercise. You guys know the drill. Everybody, if you could hit that thumbs up button and also hit the notification bell. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell, and then type Black Power in the chat and let me know that you've done that. Just thumbs up, notification bell, Black Power in the chat on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody put Black Power in the chat. Please do that right now. I would appreciate that very much. All right. So
now, Boyce, go back to Byron Allen now, and I'm gonna show you how what I just gave you, talked to you about the Constitution. I'm gonna show you how that would hook up with Byron Allen. Now go back to your Byron Allen presentation.
Okay, so with Byron Allen, what I can do is, if you'd like, I can leave it open-ended in terms of how you wanted to connect. I saw the connections. I saw natural connections to what you just said. In fact, what you said reminded me of something else Byron actually brought up in his Breakfast Club interview, which was that he described accurately so that during slavery, Black people were an asset. We were one of the most valuable assets in America. We were the reason America became so wealthy, right? And then when we were freed, we became a liability, and we were a liability not just because we were no longer an asset, but also because we became competition. So then at that point, you're competing for jobs, you're competing for resources, et cetera. And that's when, according to Allen, in his perspective, that's another area where we really started losing. And I think that where Byron and I part ways a little bit, not that I disagree with him because I love him, I just think he's amazing, is that I am still a person that has a hard time having a whole lot of faith in white people to do the right thing. I'm not trying to say that I think every white person is evil. I know plenty of wonderful, good white people that don't mess with me when I go running down the street. They don't call me the N-word. They ain't trying to steal from me, nothing like that. However, I am not convinced that story of success that Byron Allen told, one where he talks about how the white boys wouldn't do business with him. He would call them and call them and call them, none of them did business. And then finally, one of the guys in the inner circle, talked to some people and said, hey, you got to do business with this guy. So he vouched for him and that led him in the circle. So it was almost this a narrative that says, if you're Black and you're outcast and you can't get access to what you want, just keep knocking on the door and force them to let you in, or ask them or beg them or get them to let you in, and they'll eventually let you in if you keep knocking on the door. I don't want to knock at the door. I want to build, I want to own the door. I want to own the house that the door is on. I need you knocking at my motherfucking door. Excuse my French. I didn't mean to cuss. I know, but I'm sure you've heard all the words in the dictionary.
Yeah.
But I really, yeah,
these are tender ears, right? These are tender ears, but go on.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to do that, but I had to let it out. I'm not going to spend my whole life knocking. I'm just not. What am I knocking on? What am I trying to get into? Why is it that as a Black man in this country, that a large percentage of my success is contingent upon what white people decide to allow me to do? I don't think it has to be that way. I don't. The same. So what I look at is I actually look at when I have my students in the Black Business School read how the Jews invented Hollywood. What I saw with the Jewish community and how they came to control Hollywood was that they didn't really spend just all their time knocking on a white man's door. They pulled their community together and then they built their own doors. And now to get to Hollywood, you got to go knock on a Jewish door. And that's
the point you should be pushing right there. See, Black folk don't understand. See, the worst thing you can do, any out group on this earth, any place on this earth, I know one of the first lessons they learn is that if you're an out group and you're a pariah and you're a hated and despised group, the last thing that you should ever do is try to penetrate those who are opposing against you. I mean, that's going backwards. See, what you're supposed to need to do is Jews learned that back in the 15th century, when they started in Poland, when they tried this as a religious group, tried to integrate with Catholicism and Lutheranism. They got away from that. They found the best way to survive is to pull your group together as a group and operate as a fist, or pull all your fingers together. And so, but Black people are an out group in this country. They never accepted that fact. They want to penetrate whatever white folk have. They want to be a guest in what white folk own and control. They are a sleeping giant. Right now, they are economic giant, sleeping giant. They're an economic sleeping giant in business. And what you're saying is that if you were to go back and say right now, if we got a $1.2 trillion disposable income passing through our hands, and we make up almost 15% of the population now, and why you continue to spend 98% of all your money into white folks' hands? Why don't you build your own economy? Why don't you build your own school system instead of right now catching a bus every morning and living in a neighborhood where it's been deteriorated with no schools in it? You're catching a bus riding over to white schools where you're a minority. Whites love for you to be a minority. In a democratic society, the rule is that the majority will always win and rule, and a minority will always lose and suffer. Why do you always want to be a minority? The last thing you want to do if you're an out group or a hated group or a despised group is to continue to be a minority. You got to learn how to become a majority. And that's what those Jews that you're talking about did. They said, if we were to go capture certain industries, we could be the majority in them. Let's go after the jewelry industry, the clothing industry, the book industry, the legal industry, and the movie industry. Let's capture those industries, and then we'll be the majority. Black people have yet to learn, even in these major cities, that you got to strive not to be a minority, to be a majority. Stop bragging and boasting about being a minority. As soon as somebody, well, Dr. Anderson, I'm a minority. No, what's a minority? I'm a loser. I'm a loser. Quit going around telling people you're a loser and say, no, what you got to strive is how to become a majority. When I go to major cities, and I don't care any place in this country, there are Black folks up there with, as a major population. They're holding most of the public positions. And guess what they call themselves? Minorities. And then guess what they're doing? They let whites come in and rule and dominate. And I'm speaking in Detroit, Michigan. And I said, they said, Doctor, I'm going to give you an award because you're always concerned about Black folk. And I said, yeah, but before you tell me, give me an award, I just walked outside and I saw Black folk out there walking and demonstrating, talking. Guess what they're walking and demonstrating for? So they want to increase the set aside for minorities. And here's Detroit, Michigan, a 92% Black city. There are Blacks out there demonstrating so they can move their set aside for businesses contracting from 5% up to 10%. As you got to be stuck on stupid with Gorilla Glue. You're the majority. What you should be saying is, no. In this city, whites are the minority. All the city contracts should be, 90% of the city contracts should be going to Black folk. Why are you going to looking for 10%? Why are you going to go turn in $1 to get a dime? Jews will figure that out. And so we start talking about going back to Byron Allen. He's a good man, a smart man. He's got to learn how to play the game to win. But first you must do this. Capture your own control. Capture your own people's money. That's why Black money right now Hispanic money bounces 6 to 7 times. White money bounces 8 to 12 times. Arab and Asian money bounces 12 and 13 times in their own communities. Black Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black money doesn't bounce once. They keep giving everybody else their money. They don't play as a team. Racism is a team sport. Either play as a team or you lose by default. Anybody knows that in a baseball season or in a football season. Play as a team. So let's go back to Byron Allen now, see if he's working on trying to learn how to play as a team, capture what he's got first that he can depend on, which is his own people. Don't be knocking on other people's door, kissing their ass to get along with them. You make it so to say, hey, we are Black. We got quality. We got culture. We'll capture our own $1.3 trillion. If I can grab that $1 trillion out of Black folks' hand of disposable income, I don't need white folks' money. Damn white folks' money. You capture your own money first. Once you get your own money captured, then you go after white money. You go after white money once you control your own. Your Black folk are trying to set up businesses where they can deal with whites at the front door trying to get into their business. Guess who's coming through the back door? Other people coming into the Black community. You know that old song about who's making love to your old lady while you're out making love? Use that of what I'm telling you now. Listen to me, Dr. Watkins. That you're a Black folk out there now trying to get into white people's community to get white folks' money while they're out there doing that, trying to hear Black, Asian, Arabs, and Hispanics coming in the back door, making love to Black folks' money and their community while Blacks out trying to get in the white community. How disrespectful can you do your own people when you do that kind of stuff? You're a giant, but you're not acting like a giant. You're acting like a damn midget called minorities.
Well, everybody who just came in, I'm speaking with Dr. Claud Anderson, author of the books Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, The Black History Reader, and Dirty Little Secrets 1 and 2. And the thing that we're talking about today is we're talking about what I thought was a very good interview by Byron Allen, the billionaire, on the Breakfast Club. I think that, so I want everybody to make sure it's 100% clear. We're not here to be critical of Byron or of the Breakfast Club or anything like that. It's really about adding, supplementing, not so much replacing or competing. It's more so supplementing the message to make sure that all angles are included, so you can kind of really understand how you can get something from this. And also, by the way, everybody, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Also, go to powernomics.com. That's where Dr. Anderson's books are located. You can get his Power Pack for just $99, which includes all the books plus a DVD. That's at powernomics.com. And in 1 second, Dr. Anderson, I want to mention those who gave in the super chat. I saw Catherine McConico, Randall is that Randall Riley, DJ Randall Entertainment. Thank you. Next level refining quality tub and countertops. And their phone number. They actually put their phone number in here if you want to do business with Next Level Refining. You can call 469-708-8277. That's 469-708-8277. So that's the number. So feel free to support that Black business. All right, and if you want to have your Black business listed, we're collecting as many Black businesses as possible into a database. You can actually list for free right now at theblackbusinesslist.com. That's theblackbusinesslist.com. Y'all know we have the Black Business School. Well, this is theblackbusinesslist.com. All right, guys. So Dr. Anderson, let me ask you about this. One of the things that Byron did mention that I really liked was he actually gave some truth about the challenges that came up for Black business owners during the Obama presidency. He mentioned that he went to Obama. He held an event for Obama, and he supported Obama before anybody else did. And I did too. I remember supporting him before it even looked like he was going to win. And one of the things that he said, and it led me to feel that he's disappointed with Obama, is he said that he asked Obama to open doors for Black people to have ownership, particularly in media. He said, not minorities. He said, because minorities, that includes white women and all these other groups of people, you know,
all these fabricated groups.
Yeah, gay white men can be minorities now. All these other, he said, not minorities, Black people. And they said, did Obama do it? He said, no. Now, one of the things that he mentioned that I did not agree with, which I think Byron's smart enough to know that this wasn't true. He said that I think he was letting Obama off the hook because he didn't want to be too mean to him. But I'm going to have to be truthful on this. He said that the Black community did not have a clear ask from the president, that they did not have a clear agenda that was presented. And I think that is almost at a COINTELPRO level of giving the illusion of chaos as an excuse for inactivity. I can personally say that I was part of groups of people that went to the Obama administration with very clear agendas. I'm smarter than a white man. I'm smarter than an Asian man. I'm smarter than most people. And I know how to put together a clear agenda. And we had clear agendas for the administration. So for them to say, oh, well, the Black people were just all over the place. We just didn't know what they wanted. They did too stupid to write down a list on a piece of paper. I think that was insulting. I mean, that really bothered me, that was their excuse for not doing anything for Black folks, to say that Black people didn't have a clear agenda. No, we were very, very clear. You know, our PhDs and lawyers and everybody that was part of our coalition were very, very clear on what they wanted. They just didn't want to do anything. And so I like the fact, there's one thing I do like about Byron is that he's one of the few prominent Black folks out here that will be honest about the lack of action committed by the Obama administration. I didn't know if you wanted to speak to that in terms of what.
Yeah, let me jump in there right now. First of all, see, I wrote a newsletter, 19-page newsletter, put out over 100,000 copies of it all over the United States, had them delivered back to the White House by one of his best friends who's a very bright Black attorney in the White House. We sent it there through the email. I gave him an email that broke down an agenda for Black folk in America, very specific on how they could find money to subsidize all these things that Black folk needed, how to go about doing it, and how it was to be done. And as a matter of fact, some of the things that Donald Trump picked up came out of that newsletter. So they can't say they didn't have an agenda. I wrote an agenda. You can go on the Harvest Institute website right now. Go to Harvest Institute website. I think it's either August of September of 2010, I believe. Check that and read that newsletter. It's a breakdown telling all the things you can do to be able to, what Black folks need and how to go about getting it. But more importantly, way beyond that, anybody who gets in politics, again, in a very prominent position, in a public office, you don't need a damn agenda. The agenda was spelled out, I told you a few minutes ago, in the second Constitution. It spelled out what Black folk needed. It told you exactly what it needed. It was supposed to reverse the first Constitution, which deprived Black folk of everything. The first Constitution was designed to maldistribute almost 100%, Dr. Watkins, of all the land, materials, resources, businesses, incomes, rights, privileges, and controls of all levels of government to the hands of the dominant white society. That was the primary purpose of slavery. What Black politician, but nobody should ever tell Obama that. It says that if you're going to correct the problems that Black folk got inflicted on them, 460 years ago, that's where you start. You go back to square one. They don't need no damn social integration. Why do black folk have to come to you with an agenda to tell you what happened to black folk 460 years ago, and they still burdened down and they're still burdened by it? When blacks came out of slavery in 1860, come on, you had almost 5 million blacks coming out of slavery. Guess what? They own and control 1/2 of 1% of the wealth and power and resources in this nation in 1860. Guess what? Here we are now, 150 years later, and guess what? Black folks still own and control 1/2 of 1% of anything in wealth and power and resources in the United States. It has never changed. So why would anybody have to tell a black official? Nobody should have to tell Obama that. He should have known it. And so if you want to do that, that's your agenda. Your agenda, you got to redistribute some of these resources, power, and wealth back into the black community. Now you were talking about something about Byron Allen, and I don't know, you mentioned something earlier about it. Was it something in communications that he wanted to get into?
Well, what I liked about Allen's conversation about Obama is that he just made an honest point about it. You know, he wasn't afraid to talk about it. A lot of the black celebrities I know are so scared of being honest or critical about the lack of action on the behalf of the administration. They don't understand that when you have a black president who was that passive when it came to black people, it opens the door. It creates the Donald Trumps. It allows a Donald Trump to come along and say, well, hey, at least I mentioned your name. At least I said something to y'all. Your own black president wouldn't even say your name. You know, and they can get mad about Trump and say, you know, talk about whose fault it is that he's in office. I say it's your fault. If you had done a better job, then we would have had a better standard. It's like again, if somebody's making love to your old lady because you ain't touched her in 3 years, I mean, can you get mad that this other man came along and gave her the attention that she was seeking from you? And so, you know, one of the things I thought that was good is that I think he made that point without necessarily bashing Obama. He even protected him probably more than they've earned. But I do think that there's a conversation about, you know, what we should really expect from any politician when it comes to getting what we need in our community. Like one of the things he brought up, and I asked you about this, Dr. Anderson, and I don't have any idea of how you feel on this one way or the other, but he brought up education. He talked extensively about the importance of education when it comes to being successful in America. I think we all agree on that. Do you guys agree? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you believe education is important? I hope you say yes. Please say yes, because we all can agree on that. But here's what I think is an issue. When you talk about education, you got to say, you know, what education are you talking about? Whose education are you getting? Mm-hmm. It's like saying, you know, in order for you to be alive, you got to eat. Well, what are you eating? You know, if I'm eating, you know, poison and battery acid, that's a meal, right? But I'd be better off eating nothing at all. Do you see? And when I look at our education system, when I look at this education that we're just running after and seeking and trying to get, I think that the way white people educate black people is absolutely atrociously bad and criminal. I mean, just criminal. I mean, they don't even teach you. They don't even, your kids probably went to school 12 years, don't even know who Marcus Garvey is, but they've been told all the wonderful things that Christopher Columbus allegedly accomplished, right? You know, and so I personally believe that when we're talking about taking over the education system and redirecting black dollars, taking over the economic system, redirecting black dollars, education must be a part of that. We must redirect some of those black dollars to take some of our brilliant teachers and administrators out here in our community and have a long-term plan for the building of our own schools so we can occupy the educational process of our children. That's what I believe. I don't care. I don't have the energy to go to 1,000 PTA meetings begging white folks to not screw up the brain of my child. I want to educate my child. That's what I want to do. So I'd like to know, Dr. Anderson, what do you think about that in terms of economic plan? You know, in terms of us owning the schools and the businesses. I believe we need to own the schools and the business because white folks do it. White folks own the schools that create their employees and business owners of the future. When a white corporation like General Electric gives money to Harvard University, they're giving that money because they're saying you're going to educate them in the way we need them educated to come and build our businesses. Why can't black people do the same thing? What do you think? What do you say, Dr. Anderson? Let
me ask you this to get to your question, roundabout way. Tell me right now, and to the best of your ability, and you had a very deep, you know, strength and economic background, and background in economic development and in our higher educational institutions. Can you think of one incentive or one motive or one reward that white folk could get for educating a black child to be competitive with a white child?
Better employees. They're trying to get better employees. That's about it.
Okay, is that what it is?
Or more well-behaved Negroes. That might help.
I mean, what's the incentive for you to educate a big burly black kid? Well, I ain't gonna take this nigga teacher that. I mean, let's be reasonable, okay? Why would a white teacher and a white university want to educate an in, okay? I mean, to what degree? To make him competitive with their children? Now, but I'm going back, I keep harping this thing about the Constitution, the second Constitution. And about let me go back to Obama again, but it applies to every prominent person in politics and economics and business. The law, the 13th and 14th Amendment mandated, Dr. Watkins, that every level of government, listen to me now, that every level of government is mandated to exercise all necessary means and measures to lift the legacies of the backs and shoulders of black people, period. Now, and if you see black folk are not improving, then you haven't done it. You haven't changed anything. That's what they should do. It said, what is it? Now, if the school system, if you in fact had a school system that in the country that for 360 years had laws that said it'll cost you $100 and 39 lashes with a damn whip on your ass to be caught teaching a nigga to read and write. Mm. And so for 360 years, black folk could not read and write. They better not be caught reading and writing. Anybody who's got about a third grade education will say, hell, that every individual is a product of their experiences and their in life. So if you've denied black folk an education for 360 years, you're gonna wind up with a lot of stupid ass black folk then. That's natural because you inflicted ignorance on them intentionally to keep them crippled, to keep them disqualified, to keep them unequal, okay? Now, all of a sudden you turn them loose and say, well, we're gonna come up with some new philosophy saying that slavery is over, so we all people are equal. That's bullshit. If you stole from me all week long, stole everything I had from Monday through Saturday, then all of a sudden on Sunday you said, well, now let's all be equal. The only way we can be equal, Dr. Watkins, is you turn back some of that shit you just stole from me. I mean, come on. How the hell you gonna start talking about, well, what we want is equality? How the hell you get equality if you're not gonna redistribute the resources that have been taken from black folk? How is that? If you gave white folk 2 billion acres of free land to every white person coming to America, the incentive was to come to America and get free land. Any person coming to America, particularly a white man who was the head of a household, he got 650 acres of free land just by being the head of the house. That they had called it homesteading, got free land. For every slave they own and got another 150 acres of free land. Now in that land, Dr. Watkins, listen to me now, so make sure you understand this, and Bert and then see Alan, he'll understand this too. The wealth of this nation is in the land. The land was the second biggest generator of wealth in the nation. The first thing, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, the first generator of wealth in the nation was the back of a slave. A slave was set up the system for Wall Street. Wall Street was regulated off the price of a damn slave. It went up and down in the market, stock market. It was the stock market functioned based off the value of a slave. If a slave went down in value, then the stock market dropped and the commodity market. Now, but let's go back to the land. But land was the second biggest generator of wealth in this country. You gave whites 2 billion acres of free land. In that land, Dr. Watkins, you got timber, the land itself. You got the land, and you got the timber. You got gold. You got silver. You got chrome. You got bauxite. You got gas. You got magnesium. You got gold, and all that land was given to those people. They gave it to them. Just in the railroad, you had about 9 or 10 railroad lines. They got 24 million acre free land. Railroads in this country picked up 6 miles of free land on either side of a railroad track across the United States. And in that land was passed on for one generation to the next. All the wealth in America was put in the hands of whites. It's been passed down from one generation to the next. It is frozen. It's frozen. Now, 87% is locked and frozen into the white society. It's passed on every 20 years, every generation. It doubles and triples in value. So that white folk now can continue to get wealth without having to work. Whites don't have to work to get wealth. The wealth has been passed down to them. It's in trust accounts, inheritance laws. It's in capital gains, stock markets. That's why they can play the stock market. Now, somehow somebody talking about you got a racial equality. You can't have no damn equality unless you redistribute some of those resources. And see, and the Constitution, the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment mandated that Black folks should get these resources. Blacks shouldn't have to come up with no damn agenda. Why would it be Black folks' agenda when the Constitution already told you how you got screwed for the first 360 years? You got a second chance to get some of it back, but they sidebanged you and corrupted it by having the United States Supreme Court rule, well, those laws can't be only for Black folk. The 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment and those civil rights laws can't be only for Black folk. And the other 9 civil rights laws, we rule those unconstitutional. Black folks should be raised in holy hell. And that's where Byron Allen, if I was Byron Allen, I would be going after some of these constitutional constructs. In the conclusion of my remarks, let me say this. You got the public airways out there, public airways. Now, guess what? When they started the whole thing with radio, for instance, guess what? In this country, they got about 12,000 radio licenses in the United States, all the radio bands. And guess what? Out of those bands, initially, Black folks should have gotten them, but they gave all the major radio licenses. You know, they gave them to the wealthy people in this country, and every one of them. I got a study on that. That's a lawsuit I got. They took land, the railroads, and the insurance company, mortgage companies. They took money they'd made off of slavery and set up those biggest radio broadcasting systems in the United States, ABC and the rest of them. They got that from slave money. U.S. Steel got them all. And say, but no Blacks are raised Cain about that. So out of 12,000 radio stations in the life in the United States, Black folk are lucky to own now maybe about 50 or 60. I used to own 2 radio stations, WOWD in Tallahassee and one in the top of the Superdome. I fought like hell to get them. Nobody gave them to me. Those big whites got all those big broadcasting license free. You got about 5,000 TV stations in the United States, all owned by whites in the public. The public airways belong to the public. Damn it, Black folk are part of the public. Black make up almost 15% of the population. They should have and own 15% of all the radios licensed in the United States. They should have 15% of all the cable license in the United States. They should have 50% of all the television license. They don't have to buy them. They shouldn't have to buy them. But Obama sitting in office every year, he would invite Indians to come to the White House every December, 564 white Indians, and gave them $3.5 billion every year, every Christmas. And this last year in office, he gave the Indians as many free radio license, cable license, and TV license they wanted free. The Indians didn't buy them. Black folk don't have any wealth. If all the whites got all the damn wealth, why don't you tell the Black folk, you got to go buy you a radio station? Hell, Blacks ain't got the damn money to buy a radio station and the television station. They shouldn't have to buy it. Whites didn't buy it. Indians didn't buy it. Why are you going to make a Black person buy it? And so we start talking about what Comcast got. It is illegal. And why it's illegal now, and because no Black has challenged what happened in 1996 under the Bush administration. They lifted the Tail Cap Act in 1996. See, up at that time for a while, up until about 1996, Black folk could get some of those licenses, even though they had to buy them. But at least they got a chance to be considered. In 1996, when they lifted the Tail Cap Act in Congress, now they said, forget about Black folk. That whoever's got the most money can own all the television stations, radio stations, newspapers, whatever you want. That's how the Fox channel came in. That conservative Fox channel, it came in because they lifted the Tail Cap Act in 1996. Black folks should be raising hell. And if I was Byron Allen, I would go out there right now and start raising holy hell. Have Black folks set up all kind of movements, petitions in this country. Say, we're not going for it anymore. And start raising Cain with the FCC saying, no. We want our fair share of everything. I did that in Florida when I got on the appointment committee under the governor's office. I demanded that 19% of everything in Florida the black folk got their share of it, 19%. I made sure the blacks got appointed to every damn board. And even in liquor license, we got a liquor license that came in. You know what I did? I said, I'm on 19% of all the damn liquor license coming into the state of Florida after 1970. We had reassessment of how many, based on population. I said, any black wants a liquor license, call me. I'll make sure you get it. And guess what? The value of a liquor license then was $50,000. I said, I'll make sure you get a damn. Just come to me, give me an address where you want to put it. Find an address on the street that's 600 feet away from a school or from another liquor place, and I'll give you a free liquor license. That's what Allen should be focusing on. Go back to the Constitution. No, we're not going for it anymore. We don't have the money. It shouldn't be if your whites got 99% of all the money and the wealth is passed on from one generation to the next, we can't compete. We can't compete. We don't have the resources. Do what Obama did. He gave it to Indians, and then the original colonists gave it to the whites. Give it to black folk.
All right. Everybody, I was speaking with Dr. Claud Anderson. He's the author of the books Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, The Black History Reader, Dirty Little Secrets 1 and 2. I hope you guys will go to powernomics.com. You can actually educate your own family. I believe that we should definitely at least supplement your kids' education. You can send them to school every day, that's fine. But when they come home, if they don't understand Black history, that's not the white teacher's fault, that's your fault. So if you want your children to be educated on history and all the things that matter for our people, go to powernomics.com and you can actually get some of Dr. Anderson's books. He's one of the premier historians in this country, and it will literally change your life, I guarantee you. Powernomics.com. I want to say thank you to Donovan Stargill and Mark H. Thank you for your donations and your support. Any of you who believe in supporting intelligent Black media, we would love to have you join our tribe of intelligent Black people, which is at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So in exchange for monthly support, we give you free stuff and free access and things like that. For example, one of the things that we're actually having very soon in the Black Business School is next week. I think around the 5th or the 6th, I'm gonna go down to Houston to be part of something that Willie D's got going on down there. And I'm going to New York for the Breakfast Club thing. But after I get back, we're going to do a special session in the Black Business School where we're going to watch the Byron Allen interview. It was that good. And there were so many issues that require a deep dive that in the Black Business School, we're going to do a free lecture for the students in the school on all the specific issues that he brings up and drill deep down into them because he really did offer a lot of really good information. And there are some things that you can add into that. And I think that going full circle is something that's going to be fun for us. This is the first time I felt that way about a Breakfast Club interview since Charlamagne reached out to me about the Dame Dash interview. I don't know if y'all remember the Dame and Dash interview where Dame was talking about being a boss and stuff like that. And Charlamagne was asking me about it, and I went on the show to talk about it. But I said there's so many points to drill into. So I want you guys to learn this. It's not just about entertainment. It's about learning. It's about understanding how this world works, how economics works. Okay. So join the blackbusinessschool.com. You can get a free membership and you will get invited to that special session. I can't do it on YouTube because of the copyright issues of the video, but I will show it in the school. We're going to watch the video, pause it, talk about a specific point, then watch a little more, pause it, draw into a specific point. That's how we're going to break it down as well. And Dr. Anderson has broken it down very, very well today. Thank you, Daryl Lynn, as well for your donation. I appreciate you very, very much. And so, Dr. Anderson, let me just ask you one last thing. In your books, Powernomics and Black Labor, White Wealth, and the Black History Reader, as well as Dirty Little Secrets 1 and 2, one of the things you actually do touch on something that I saw Byron Allen kind of mention. He mentioned what he calls the 4 Ds, and I'm sure you have a context on this in terms of your perspective on this. He says that basically in America or anywhere, when they want to, take out a group of people they consider to be the minorities or whatever they want to call them, they do the 4 Ds. They dismiss you, then they discredit you, and then they what's the word? I have it written down in my handwriting so sloppy.
Displace you?
No, it wasn't displace. It was he used he said dismiss, discredit. What was the other D? Oh, but anyway, there's another D, and then they destroy you. They destroy you. And so, demonize. That's what he said. Demonize you. but maybe displacement is part of that. Have you heard of something like that? Because I started thinking about what they did to the Jews in Nazi Germany and how that relates to what they've done to Black people in America. And you've written about that in Powernomics 20-something years ago. You talked about what was happening to Black folks in terms of our ultimate annihilation. Can you speak to that, those 4 Ds, or whatever version of that you tend to teach as well?
Okay, yeah. As a matter of fact, I picked up my book, this book, Powernomics. It's called Black Labor, White Wealth. I covered that. There's a section in here that covers that, show you what happened to the Black Civil Rights Movement, and it used those terms. That's what that was based on. I'm not sure what the section is. I can't find it right now. But there's a section in here. It tells you about why the Black Civil Rights Movement got eliminated, eradicated in the 1960s. That's what they used. And so if you got that book, it'll break down all that for you. I don't know what page, because I'm just thumbing through it right now. I don't know what section it was in. I don't know what section it was in here, but all that's discussed in there for you. Because I don't have that. It's in a section in there. It covers all that. But that's typical, because, and that's one reason why you can't, why we keep losing. One of the things I used to do years ago, tell Black folk why they keep losing. They keep losing because 2 or 3 reasons. And it makes it easier for white folk to use all those D's against them. First thing, too many of our people have a little understanding of where we are and how we got there. They don't understand it, so white folk can easily mislead and confuse them and misdirect them. That's the first thing. Too many of our people are too lazy, too self-indulging, to ever go back and understand the realities of where we are and these issues. That's why I always keep going back to the Constitution. I go back to the Constitution. I go back to it in a different way than what our civil rights leaders did. I go back to it saying, you got to understand the Constitution. Most of our leaders don't understand the Constitution, the second Constitution, that the United States Supreme Court intentionally corrupted and redirected and neutralized it so that Black folk could not use it. The United States Supreme Court is a guardian of racism in America. It came into existence strictly to maintain racism. That's why out of the first 57 people appointed to the United States Supreme Court were white slave owners. And then since the 18th and since slavery ended, guess what? The next 67 have been white racists. Common sense to say to Black folk, wake up and smell the damn coffee. If you got right now, you got 9 people on the United States Supreme Court. Why are you only having one half of a Black man sit up there? All the rest of them are whites on the thing. You talking about you're gonna find justice in the Supreme Court. You're gonna find just nothing. That's about what it is. And see what they're telling you in the Supreme Court, that justice can only be seen through the eyes of white folk. So when Byron Allen tried to go through and raise these issues when they go to court, he's gonna be running into a blank, he can hit a wall unless he can make these issues a public issue with the Black folk behind him, period, raising Cain. Because otherwise they're gonna give him justice as seen through the eyes of whites. That's at the Supreme Court level. Let's go down to the federal level, down to the federal courts. If he's gonna go to courts, you tell him that I told you this, and that's fine, doesn't bother me. Tell him I told him that from the founding of this country, Dr. Watkins, from the founding of this country, and my people won't wake up and smell this and understand it and read the books and figure this out. From the founding of the country in 1789, all the way up to 1948. That's a long time, isn't it? From 1789 up to 1948. The whites appointed, presidents appointed, nominated federal judges. They appointed over 1,400 federal judges. Did you know that? Whites appointed over 1,400 federal judges from 1789 up to 1948. And guess what? All of them were white. And then in 1948, for the first time, they appointed the first Black federal judge in the entire United States, not until 1948, after the damn World War II. All the way from the founding country up to 1948, you couldn't get a Black federal judge. Now from 1948 up until about a few years ago, guess what? They had still only appointed 30 Black federal judges that you had to go to court with. That's what Allen's gonna run into. They had only appointed 30 federal judges from 1948 up to around 20 something, like 2008 or 20 something. And another in over 60-some years. He only appointed 30 damn black judges. But guess what? Out of that 30 black judges, this you keep in the back of your mind as long as you live, out of those 30 black judges that they appointed from 1948 all the way up until the end of the century, guess what? Out of those 30 judges, would you believe that Claud Anderson, I got 3 of those appointed by my damn self.
Oh, wow.
Three out of 30 were put on the damn federal bench by Claud Anderson, Dr. Claud Anderson, not by any of the civil rights leaders, not by these public officials, not by anybody else. I got them on there. When I was with President Carter in the White House, I cut deals with some of the biggest racists in the country. A Strong Thurman down in South Carolina, he was over the Judiciary Committee at that point in time for the Republican Party. He came to me because I was the only black in the history of the nation. That was our first black assistant secretary, but I was also over the property disposal program for the federal government, which means my signature alone, Simeon Booker wrote this up in Jet magazine, that I had more damn power. I could give out as much public property as I want with just my damn signature. Did you know that?
No.
I had a staff of 45 people down in Charleston, South Carolina. And if somebody wanted something, they said, "Doctor, I want a bulldozer. I want a truck. I want a train. I want a damn boat." I could send my staff out, and all they'd do is look and get the serial number off of that piece of equipment for the federal government. And I could fill out an application, 1-page application, I could sign it, and I could give this shit away when I wanted to. No other black man in the history of the nation was able to do that. I'm the only black set as a chairman for economic development for Eastern and Southern damn governors. I met with governors every damn 2 months to tell them how to play the game. So Strong Thurman says, "Dr. Anderson, I like to have some Quonset huts and then a couple of pieces of equipment, there's a whole bunch of stuff." I said, "I'll get it for you, but you're gonna have to wheel and deal on a quid pro quo basis with me. I'm not one of these licky figure, chicken licking black people that'll do anything just to get along and be accepted." He said, "What do you need?" I said, "I want at least three black judges, and I'll give you the damn equipment." He said, "You got it. Now I'll deliver that stuff to you." And so that's why right now the 3, one was Al C. Hastings of Broward County, Florida. He became a black federal judge. I put him on the damn board. Other ones say Joe Hatchett in Jacksonville, Florida. I got him as a federal judge. I put another black federal judge out in San Diego, California. So out of 30 black judges in the entire history of the nation, Claud Anderson, by my damn self, without any support, the wealthy blacks in the country, without any support from the black elected officials, without any support from the black civil rights organization, I got 3 put up as federal judges. I've been busting my ass for black folk now for 60 damn years, and not one time have they ever said, "Thank you." These wealthy blacks or other blacks, the Sambo and blacks, said, "Thank you for what you do for black folk." But now, as I got older now, I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing things for black folk. They don't understand, they don't read. And they said, "Well, doctor, I don't have time to read. I got to take care of business." You don't have any damn business. What are you taking care of? Taking care of white folks' business. That's what you're doing. I said, read the damn books. Go to powernumbers.com and get that damn power pack, library pack, all 5 of those books and a DVD for $99 and start reading it. Then we can communicate. And I'm going to fight for black folk until the day I die. I'm coming out of some illnesses now, but I'm sick and tired of fighting for black folk while the rest of these Negroes sitting back hiding behind a tree and under feet talking about, well, if I stand up for black folk, white folk might get angry. And I'll have to knock on the door, can't get in. Damn that. Quit trying to become guests of what white folk own. Go back and rebuild your communities, build your own businesses, build your own industries, buy and bounce your dump money with your own people 8 to 12 times before you leave your own community. Quit giving your money to everybody else and impoverishing yourself. The minute you spend your money with a hand that's not black, you just impoverish yourself, push yourself further in debt, and make your people weak and foolish. I love black folk, and I'm gonna fight for them to the day I die. I didn't mean to give you this long lecture but I'm telling you about what justice is. You can't get justice through the eyes of whites. Well, so right now, Donald Trump has stacked the court. Since Donald Trump has been in office, he's put over 40 damn black federal judges on the seat. Did you know that?
40 black?
No, rednecks.
Oh, you said
federal judges. white judges.
40 federal judges. You said 40 black. I heard.
No, federal judges. No, federal judges.
40 federal judges. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
these are white judges. And he's stacking the deck. So if he stacked the deck, as I said, you already had over 1,400 white federal judges. You only had 30, and I got 3 of those on there for you. Where are you going to get justice at the federal level? Oh, well, we'll go up to the Supreme Court. That's been stacked against you. You've out of 120 some damn federal Supreme Court justices, you've only had 1 damn black on it. And what you got another, you got 1 black, you got 1 white man on there that pretending to be black.
Wow. Well, you know what, Dr. Anderson, let me say this.
So you tell Byron Allen that he's got the right idea. I wish him well in it, and go for it. But be as black as he want to be, and don't kiss white folks' ass to get what he needs. Go back to those back and get a public support system behind you, and start raising hell about the airwaves. The airwaves belong to the public. You can't. White folks should not be owning 99% of all the damn airwaves in the country. Out of 12,000 radio stations, they own almost all of them. They own all about 60. Out of 5,000 TV stations, they own about 1 or 2. Out of the cable systems, they own almost 100% of that. Out of 5,000 daily newspapers, they don't own a damn one.
All right. Well, everybody, can we do one thing real quick, everybody? Can you please give Dr. Anderson a digital round of applause and some thank yous? Let's throw some thank yous up in his mug so that he knows how much you appreciate him. I know a couple thousand of you are watching. 50 to 100,000 of you will have seen this video by the time it's done. So if you could take 1 second and please give Dr. Anderson a digital round of applause and thank you, clap emojis, whatever it is that floats your boat, just please thank him right now for not just the time that he's giving you today, but also the work that he's done over the last 50 or 60 years. And I want you to do that because I want him to know for sure how appreciated he is. This channel reaches over 1 million Black people a week, and I know how much they love you, Dr. Anderson, and that's very important. And also, speaking of thanks, I want to say thank you to Celos for your donation. I appreciate that very, very much. We're building media here. Byron Allen's not the only one building media. He's doing his thing. God bless him for that. But also, we're building media where we're reaching hundreds of thousands, and if not millions of people on a regular basis, and we could use your help. We would love for you to join our tribe for intelligent Black people at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Also, Dr. Anderson, please support the Powernomics Corporation with Dr. Anderson. Here's some things you can do. Number 1, go to powernomics.com. He's got a family pack, or excuse me, a power pack that includes all 5 of his books plus a DVD, Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, Black History Reader, Dirty Little Secrets 1 and 2, and a DVD. Get that for your kids. Christmas is coming. That's a great Christmas gift, right? So I hope you guys will consider that for Christmas. Number 2, when you go there, subscribe to his YouTube channel. He goes on YouTube on his channel once a week. I hope you will support the YouTube channel. Number 3, if you are a nerdy guy or nerdy woman, you're nerdy like we are, and you're into reading things and you want to learn and dig deep. Actually, he's got a great think tank called the Harvest Institute. So you can go to theharvestinstitute.org and check out what they've got going on, because that's an excellent learning resource. We as a community must have our own educational institutions where you're learning the things that Black people need to learn. The Harvest Institute's doing it. We're also doing it in the Black Business School. We've got professors and lawyers and PhDs and business entrepreneurs, and we have billionaire Mike Roberts who came through the Black Business School, and we have lots of great people here that you can learn from. So if you haven't brought your children over, we got a Black Business School for children at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. And also, last but not least, please hit the thumbs up button right now, everybody. If you haven't done it, hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell so that you will know when we go live. So Dr. Anderson, I want to say thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it very, very much.
Well, thank you, buddy. Would you do me a personal favor? Would you call me sometime personally between now and the weekend? I got a question I want to run by you. I want your advice on it, okay?
Okay.
Call me at home anytime between now and Saturday, and I got something to run by you, because I lean on you because you got that vast volume of intellect in there, and how you make money and how you invest. And because you're the king of the investment cycle in this country, and the best we got in the Black race. So I want you to call me. And anytime, just call me personally at home in the next 2 days, okay?
I certainly will.
I enjoyed your program today, as usual. And again, I appreciate your and anything I can do to help your friend. I don't know Byron Allen, but Byron Allen. I'll help him in the way I can, and I wish him well in it. Okay.
All right, all right. Well, I certainly will give you a call, Dr. Anderson. And I see Rolando, you're asking, can I call either one of you? I will say that I don't really talk on the phone much. I do have private consultations. There is a fee for that, though. To be honest with you, it's not cheap. It's not free because I don't even talk on the phone that much. But if you want to do one, go to theblackbusinessschool.com and tell them you'd like to do a consultation, and they can get you set up. But it ain't cheap. You only want to reach out if you got something serious going on or you're ready to make that investment. It's not out of disrespect. It's just that my time is super tight. So I love you guys very, very much. It's great to hang out with you. Also, at least get the free membership at theblackbusinessschool.com so you can join that lecture we're going to do next week, where we're going to do that deep dive that I told you about. We got a lot going on for you. You don't need other people and other, all this other stuff out here. We've got everything you need. We got a lot of what you need here for your family. So thank you again, Dr. Anderson. Have a great day.
Thank you. And put your stuff together and call me. But what you talked about, possibilities, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Just put it together. Give me a call now.
Okay, I definitely will. Without a question. I'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you, buddy. And you take care of yourself now.
You too, sir.
You're newly married now, aren't you?
July 11th, get married in the south side of Chicago at the Rockefeller Chapel. Everybody is invited. I told everybody.
Yeah. That sounds like that's gonna be a wonderful. That's gonna be a throwdown.
Well, we're gonna make it a royal celebration of Black love, because our people don't get to see a lot of prominent Black men really openly screaming to the rooftops how much we love Black women. And I found a Black woman I think the world of. She's intelligent. She's a professor too, like myself. And I just feel like Black women deserve that. So all the women that are out here and all the people that love the community and love the Black woman along with me, I'm doing that for you. And so we are going to get a little bit grand, a little bit crazy, and spend a little bit of money, because we want this to be better than that old nonsense they had where that Black lady married the prince over in England. No disrespect. I'm not making fun of that. I'm not dissing that. But that ain't the best we got. That to me, that should not be the best that we have as a community. Black on Black love is the best love. That other love is just a cheap substitute as far as I'm concerned. So,
and when you're married and you come to Washington D.C., you know where to come when you came the last time.
Yes,
I want you to across the table again, okay? Let me know every time you Washington. Bring her with you. You come to Washington D.C. and I'm back in my new home now, okay?
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you. I'll be there real soon. I'll come see you in the next month or so.
That's a deal. I'm gonna hold you to that now. Okay. Take care now.
Yes, sir. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye-bye now.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.